What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your man Lucky. I'm back with another one, man. Y'all know how I do. How's everybody doing out there, man? How's all my singles out there? How's all my single people? How's all my couples, man? How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? All right, listen, I'm gonna get right into it. Y'all know how I do it, right? I want to talk about something today. I want to talk about and pardon me for keep saying and pardon me for keep rocking back and forth. I'm getting better though. I want to talk about ego. I really want to talk about ego. And I guess I'm talking to the men. I can't really speak too much upon women's ego. I'm not a woman. I don't know much about women's ego, but I can speak about ego in general, but I'm more so speaking from a man's point of view. So I guess I'm talking to my men. All you ladies, y'all can listen. But I guess I'm really talking to my men because I'm a man and I'm talking from a man's perspective, right? So let's talk a little bit about ego, right? What is ego? Ego is like how you yourself, how you view yourself. That's what ego is, basically. You know what I mean? It's how you view yourself. How do you view yourself, right? And see, the problem with that is when it comes to ego and when it comes to how we view ourselves, hey, if we're a confident person, then we might, overvalue ourselves, right? If we're just very confident or just, I don't know, if you're a good looking man and a lot of women are attracted to you or you get a lot of compliments from women saying, wow, you're handsome or whatever the case may be, you may tend to have a higher ego because you value yourself higher, but it's simply based on your looks. Your overall value may not be that high. But because you have good looks and you get a lot of compliments on your looks, you might tend to overvalue yourself, right? Just like if you're successful, you have a lot of money or you have a lot of power or something like that, right? You may have a big ego because, again, people look up to you, right? You may have a business and you have several people working for you, or your business is doing good and you're generating a lot of money. You may overvalue yourself simply based on the fact that you have a business and you're powerful, or you may have a great career. You're moving up the corporate ladder. You're near the top of the corporate ladder, or you're head of your department, or just whatever the case may be. You may tend to overvalue yourself simply based on that one thing. Okay, so that's pretty much what ego is. It's how you value yourself, right? Now, how others value you may be totally different. And it usually is totally different. Someone who is more self-conscious and more aware of what's going on around themselves and, around their community. When I say community, I don't mean necessarily where you live, but just what's going on within what it is you do, your community, the people that you surround yourself with, your social your social groups and things of that nature. People like that tend to kind of have their ego a little bit more in check, typically, because they can kind of see based on their community where they fall within that community. And it kind of gives them a better picture or a better understanding of where they actually are as far as rankings are concerned or anything like that. But, they can kind of put themselves in better perspective when compared to other people. It's like, oh, okay, I see such and such is way up here. I might not be up there, but such and such is kind of over here and I'm not over there. So I fall in the middle. And so, just certain people have a better grasp on, when it comes to their ego, because they kind of know where they stand when it comes to other people, especially like I said, within their community, whether that be where you live or your social standings, your career, whatever it may be. So ego, where does ego come from? Ego is born out of fear and isolation, right? Out of fear and isolation. So the first part, fear. Let's talk about fear, right? How your ego is born out of fear. A lot of times, people have fears. A lot of people have a lot of fears. They don't talk about it, right? But fear is, I guess, you're afraid or you're scared to be, I guess maybe inadequate, right? That might be the word. I'm not sure, but you might be inadequate. You compare yourself to other people, and you're scared that you don't necessarily match up, to other people, right? So what you do is you build up your ego, right? To tell yourself that, hey, I can compete with this person, or I can compete with that person, or I'm on the same level as this person or that person, right? So you use your ego to build yourself up because you have a fear that you're not on a particular level. And that can be good. That can be good, but then it can be bad. You understand what I'm saying? So it just all depends on how you can regulate it, right? Also, fear is built, ego is built out of isolation, right? So when I was talking about ego and, I addressed like the community and your social groups and things of that nature, when you're like isolated and you're not really social and you don't really have a particular like social groups and things of that nature, then your ego can be a problem because you have no idea where you fit in. You really don't know where you fit in. So you don't have nobody to like really compare yourself to have a better understanding of, okay, this is pretty much where I'm at. And I'm not necessarily way up here where I think I'm at. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where ego comes from. Just basically fear and isolation. Okay. It's a fear that you're not adequate. You know what I'm saying? It's a fear that you're not adequate. And then just isolation is you're not really around other people to really know where you stand. Okay. So, man, ego is just like, your ego can be a problem if you don't have it in check. Okay. Kind of like, you just overvalue yourself. You just overvalue yourself. And the thing about it, you don't overvalue yourself, but then you overvalue yourself and then you're like belligerent about it. You understand what I'm saying? You take that ego and now you're pushing it onto other people, right? So this is where your ego can get you in trouble, right? Because again, you overvaluing yourself, right? So let me shift because I talk about relationships, right? In a relationship, you can really overvalue yourself. Your ego will jam you up. Sometimes you have to really look at yourself and understand, okay, you know what? This is what I bring to the table, and this is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't bringing much to the table, but they act as if, or they feel as if they're bringing A, B, C, and X, Y, Z, right? And that can be a problem. That can just really be a problem. You have to be realistic with what it is that you bring into the table and kind of where you fit in. You understand what I'm saying? If you overvalue yourself and you think you're bringing more to the table than you really are, that can be a problem. But that's your ego. You know what I'm saying? So your ego is just you overvaluing. You're overvaluing yourself. You perceive you telling yourself that you have more value than you really have, and that can hurt you. Just forget about relationship. That can just hurt you. Period. You know what I'm saying? You coming to the table like you weigh like this, that, and you're really not. You can really kind of get your feelings hurt. So ego, you got to check your ego. You have to check your ego. Okay. People who have big egos are known to be egotistical. You know what I'm saying? Or conceited. You know what I'm saying? Because they're just real extra with what they feel like their perceived value is. And their perceived value is how they see themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And I guess there's nothing wrong with having a big ego as long as you keep that ego in check. You keep it within yourself. You tell yourself, I'm this, and this to help you get to that next level. But you don't put that on other people because the things that you feel that you have that make you, I don't know. The things that you feel like you have that make you high value, other people may look at you and be like, nah, that's not it. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that ego contained. You got to know how to keep it in check, okay? Don't be egotistical. Don't be, conceited or whatever, right? So People who have a big ego, right? They first of all, they can't take criticism, right? Cannot take criticism. If somebody tries to give them what you call, I guess, constructive criticism, you know what I'm saying? They can't take it. You know, they always have a comeback for it as to, oh no, but this, that, and the third. You can't just sit down and take criticism when somebody's trying to tell you something. 9 out of 10 times when someone's trying to tell you something, if it's a friend, you know what I'm saying? If it's somebody close to you, typically they're trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't accept that help. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that because you feel like, again, that person is wrong and you feel as though you're of a higher value than they are, and so you don't need to take their advice. So you can't take criticism because you feel like you're above everybody. Who are they to criticize you? I'm up here and they're down there. Who are they? And so you don't take their criticism. And that criticism could be helping you. But you know what I'm saying, because you have such a big ego, you're not able to take criticism, right? When you have a big ego, you must always win, right? Your ego will not allow you to lose. So at all costs, you have to win, period, point blank. And that's messy, right? Because in the course of you winning, or in the journey of you winning, you're really losing. You're gonna lose out a lot of things just to get that win. You understand what I'm saying? You're in an argument with somebody. You're arguing about something like, I don't even know, man, who ate the last wing? Who ate the last cookie? You know what I'm saying? You arguing over who ate the last cookie. It really turns into an argument. And then next thing you know, you talking about their mother, your mother. You remember that when you was young? You going back and forth with somebody, next thing you know, your mother. Like, what do their mother have to do with this little conversation or whatever, right? But that's the go-to. I know that was the go-to back in the days when we was younger. Your mother. Ooh, like, huh? You talking about my mother when, you know, we out here on the playground, whatever, talking about, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But again, you just always have to win at all costs. And that's not good. You know what I'm saying? Your ego will be bruised if you lose. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to be humble. Just take the L and you learn from it. But again, you can't learn from your experiences. It's not good, okay? A lot of times you get very, very defensive. And again, that goes along with not being able to take criticism. You know what I'm saying? But somebody may not even be criticizing you. Someone is just making a comment, but you feel like you have to come back and defend the comment that they made. Why? Because the comment that they made may have something to do with you. It's not necessarily a criticism, but it just may have something to do with you. But you can't take that. Now your ego is crushed. Your ego, you feel some type of way because you feel like they're coming after your ego. Again, you feel as though you're above them. You feel as though you're above them. So who are they to even make a comment about anything? You understand what I'm saying? Man, ego can get you jammed up. Ego can get you jammed up. So, men, I'm talking to you guys. I mean, ladies, I'm sure y'all have an ego when it comes to certain things, but I'm not a lady, so I can't really touch on it. I can't really speak on it from a place of experience. So that's why I'm talking to the men. Yes, I got an ego. You know what I mean? Has that ego probably jammed me up a couple times? Yes, it has. That's why I said I'm speaking from experience. You know what I mean? You know, on my journey to improve myself, I work on my ego. You understand what I'm saying? It's difficult. I feel as though I bring a lot of value to the table and things of that nature. But again, someone else may not see it that way. So I just have to be able to understand that, okay, this is how I see it. I have to be able to accept the way that they see it. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. It's just how we see it. Two different people can look at the exact same thing and see something different. You ever see the examples of those pictures? They'll take a picture and just look at this real quick. What do you see? And then you look at it real quick and you see one particular image. But then when you sit there and look at it long enough, it's like, oh, okay, it looks like the image kind of starts to change, and then you see it another way. You're the same person, you're looking at the same picture, but for some reason, now you see it a different way. You understand what I'm saying? I know y'all talking. I know I'm not crazy. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's just it. Doesn't. There's no right or wrong. It's just this is how I see it versus this is how they see it. But again, you know what I'm saying? If you have such a big ego, it doesn't even matter how they see it. You just want to win, 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 win. And so all you worried about is how you see it. And this is what you bring to the table. And you, and that's it. And that's not good. So look, I'm going to cut this short, man. I don't want to seem like I'm rambling and going on and on about it. But ego. Guys, man, you gotta kill that ego. You in a relationship, man, you gotta kill that ego, because that ego is gonna hurt your relationship in the long run, okay? It's okay. It's okay. Just cut that. Now, I'm not saying being any less of a man, being any less masculine. I'm not saying any of those things. All I'm saying is when it comes to your ego, if you're in a relationship, you kind of got to understand that you got to just be able to kind of keep that ego in check. That's all I'm saying, man. All right. Look, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all take it easy. Be safe.